This is the inside of the Auto-Trail Imala 720. If I firstly move to the main control panel, I can turn the 12 volt on just here. Directly beside that we have leisure battery selection, and if I now press that, it will then also give me a reading of the battery. And then if I press this one, I've now selected the vehicle battery, so that is now what is running the back end of the motorhome. But more importantly, that is now the battery we are charging because we're currently connected to mains electricity. Down here we have water pump on and off. We need the water pump on so we can get water out of the taps, flush the toilet and fill the boiler if it's been drained down. And then we have how much water is in the fresh tank. If I now move just above the two travel seats, we have the trimmer control for the electric element in the fire just here. So at the moment it's all off. We have an inner dial which just controls the temperature, and then we have an outer dial which picks the power. So if I flick it all the way to the top, we're now running on main supply at 2 kilowatts. If I now flick past off and then down, we're now running on a very low 500 watts. And then if I flick right the way to the bottom, we're running on 1 kilowatt. So these are all just dependent on the ampage of the site you're on to try and avoid tripping. If I now just remove the cushion, you can see beneath here we have storage, but you will also find just tucked down here a switch, and this just controls the element in the back of the fire. So if that is switched off, it just will not work up here, so always just make sure it's on before attempting to use it. If you are not hooked up to mains electricity, you can run the fire on gas, and it's just a matter of coming to the dial here, turning it, and you should be able to hear the igniter start ticking, and then it's just a matter of holding it down to ignite it. Usually once it's stopped ticking, it's a good indication it's lit, and when you let go you should hear it whoosh. And you can also peer for the pilot light just here. Regardless whether you are running the fire on main supply or gas, the circulation fan, which will blow the air out of all the air ducts around the van, is turned on and off just here. So we have a top part and a lower part. If I start with the lower part, that will turn the fan on, and you'll see we have A at the top here. A does not work on this particular model. You do have to have another thermostat added. So if I now flick it onto M for manual, that will now fire up the fan, and we control the fan speed on the top just here. If it's a warm day and you just want to circulate the air, you can pop it onto this one just here, and then you can run the fan at a much higher level. If you're trying to light the fire on gas and you can't hear the igniter ticking, it may just be that the battery needs replacing, and just tucked down in the corner here, if you just slide it up, you'll see that it just requires an AA battery. For hot water, you just need to come to the back and you'll find both switches just here. So one set of switches is for the boiler on electric, and the other is for the boiler on gas. The easiest way to tell is that this one says boiler EL for electric, and it'll also have 30 volt at the bottom just here. So if you're going to heat hot water on main supply, either flick the rocker switch up or down. Down will give you a water temperature of about 70 degrees, and up it will give you a temperature of about 50. If you are running the boiler on gas, firstly make sure that you've removed the flue cover from the outside, and again flick it up, hot water at about 50 degrees, and flick it down for hot water at 70. If it fails to light, a red light will illuminate. If I now remove these cushions, you can now see that we have storage beneath. We then also have the water pump just there. We have the isolator switch for the boiler on mains electricity, so if this has been turned off, it will no longer work on this switch just here. To drain the boiler down for winterization, it's just done on the yellow lever just here. Firstly, make sure that the water pump is turned off, and then it's just a matter of lifting this up to drain all the water out of the boiler. If you're fully winterizing, I always suggest that you also open up all the taps in the motorhome as well, because this will help release any airlocks in the system. When it comes to refilling, firstly make sure that this is flapped over as it is at the moment. Close all the taps, fill up the fresh water tank, turn on the water pump, and then it will begin to refill the boiler back up again. Let the pump run for a few minutes and then begin opening the taps up. They'll cough and splutter as they force the air out of the system. Once the water is running freely on both hot and cold, reclose and the system will fully reprime itself. Underneath the opposite bench seat is literally storage. And if I again now move back to the front and lift up just here, you'll see in here we have the consumer unit. So we have the main strip switches just here. So we've got the individual MCBs, main RCD and test button just there. So if anything is not working on main supply, just check to see if you've tripped at this point. We then have the 12-volt fuses just there. Again, like the trips, they're labelled up. So if anything is not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you've blown a fuse. Battery charger on and off just up here. Obviously if this is turned off and you're hooked up to the main supply, you will be no longer charging the batteries. And then also in here we have the solar panel regulator. There is a switch just here, and you can flick this to tell the solar panel what battery you want charged. So if it's flicked up, it's charging the vehicle battery, and if it's flicked down, it's charging the leisure battery, and if it's in the middle, it's turned off. You cannot overcharge any of the batteries. The solar panel will obviously regulate itself to avoid damaging them. If I now just remove the cushions on this bench seat and I now lift up, you can see the location of the leisure batteries. So we have one just here, and we have the, just tucked down in the gloom just down here, a 20 amp fuse just off that. And then underneath this cover just here we have the other leisure battery, and again the 20 amp fuse just off this one. Microwave just here, and this will operate when the motorhome's connected to mains electricity. It's always advisable to remove all contents for travel. This is an eco-friendly microwave, so to use it you will firstly need to press the eco button to turn it on. And then at the top here we have auto cook, underneath that we have defrost, etc. We have time set just here, and then right at the very bottom we have quick start as well, and then stop. Beneath that we have the hob, so we've got the electric hot plate, which like the microwave will only work when the Motorhome's connected to main supply. On and off just here, and the red light comes on to let you know it's in operation. Then we have the 3 gas rings, and that's just a matter of pushing in, twisting round, and then coming to the igniter. Beneath that is the grill, and again just push in, twist and push the igniter. And then the oven. The oven has the added feature of a light just here. Directly beneath the oven you will find storage. And then also tucked underneath here there is a plug plugged in, which is just for the electric hot plate. And then tucked right at the back just here there are gas isolation taps for all the appliances. They're all in the on position, and quite frankly they can stay like that. I always say if you did smell gas in the motorhome, go to the source and turn off the gas bottle. Fridge just here, on and off. And at the moment it's running on main supply with the picture of the 2-pin plug. If we don't have main supply we can run on gas. These particular fridges will auto ignite themselves. If it fails to light due to the fact that there may be some air in the system, bottles depleted or not turned on, it will let you know by beeping, and you'll get a red indicator just here. To make it try to light itself again, just press this button. And then lastly we have 12 volt maintain, which we have it on to keep the fridge cold whilst on the move. This will only work when the engine is running. So if I now press it at the moment, we will get an error code. Temperature control just here. Removable freezer box at the top, and to vent the fridge when not in use, just push this part in and then just slide towards you, and then this will then allow you to hold the door on a jar. Above my head we have the Omnivent fan. To open the roof vent, just wind. And then middle button turns the unit on. And then we have arrows out for extraction and arrows in for cooling, and it's variable fan speed just by pressing. Do make sure that all roof vents are closed for travel. Wardrobe just here. And then right at the very back there is the digital amplifier for the TV aerial. Just make sure that it's in the on position. It's on when you can see the blue light. And then you have the black dial that controls the boost. Avtex TV just here. To drop it, firstly just twist this section just here, And then there is an extra catch just here. So you just need to pull this one, and this will then allow the TV to drop. TV on and off in the normal fashion. As you change location, the TV will obviously need to be retuned in, and these Avtex TVs have a fast retune, and you just need to press this large button just here, and it will then take you straight back to the retune menu. Just hit OK, and then it will research itself. You have DVD player, washroom. So we have the basin and the shower cubicle. Do make sure that the shower screen is clipped for travel. And then we have the Thetford toilet. Bowl does swivel. To open to the cassette, just come down to the grey lever and slide across, and then the blue button to flush. When you press this first, the fan will begin to spin first, and then when you press a second time, it will then flush. If you do not want the fan, just press and it will then pause it, and then close back up again. If this has been left open, you will not be able to remove the cassette from the outside, so if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody's left it open. And then we have a level indicator just here for the cassette. Light switch in here is just tucked up in the corner here. The rear bed is nice and simple to make. Just pull the slats across, and then just drop the cushions into place. With the front bed, you firstly need to unclip the table off the wall and then drop it onto the lower rail and fold this leg. So you just literally just push this button in and then just fold the leg up. If I now just drop this cushion back into place just here, and then what we then need to do is just slide this section out, and then I can begin to drop in all of the infills. And as you can now see, once all of the cushions are in place, it makes a nice size double bed. We then also have another double bed over the cab area. All you need to do is just slide this section forwards, attach the ladder, and then just fold the mattress over. It does also have a curtain that can be put up. This will also stop anybody falling out of bed. Very handy for children. The table can also be clipped onto the back wall just here. You can see that the table can also be folded out for extended dining. Carbon monoxide alarm and smoke alarm.